No, I don't know what's going on. I want all these JRPG remakes and it's driving me nuts that it's making me sound like Arnold right now. I don't understand, and when I go crazy, I also start sounding like Donald Duck a little bit, like la 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 la. Alright, I think I calmed down now. Hey everyone, how's it going? Total Level here with another video for all of you talking about JRPG remakes and ones that I think really need one, so yeah, this was hard to pick as I picked 10 JRPGs that I think need a remake, and ones I picked are ones that not only are part of my personal favorites and all that, but ones where I feel they do have some issues to iron out, or just the fact that, you know, we haven't had a sequel to these games or anything, that a remake would just be really wonderful to see and things like that, right? So yeah, it was tough to pick. So yeah, these are 10 games that I played and beat at least once, and yeah, so kindly yell at me about a game that you think deserves a remake that's not on this list, because one, I may not have played it, or two, just, yeah, this is my personal list of ones that I think need remakes, and yeah, I kind of picked ones where, you know, because as much as I want like a Chrono Trigger remake, Chrono Trigger is really good, still holds up so well today that doesn't really need one exactly, just it'd be nice to have that game on all current platforms, right? But at least having the DS version, because yeah, that one's the best one. But anyways, yeah, we'll just begin, and we'll begin with two games that I don't have physically, probably never will because they're very expensive. So we start with Earthbound, or Mother 2, and frankly you can put Mother 1 and 3 on here as well. But yeah, I love Earthbound, I love so much of it. It's such a fun, quirky, awesome game, and you know, love it. But there are issues that need to be addressed, right? Like there's some pacing issues, battle system is quite outdated with the whole you know, first person type of battle system, right? And man, like, I just think if it got a remake in either HD 2D style or in the style of Super Mario RPG remake, that would be really cool, because yeah, it's such an awesome series. And yeah, like we still hope to get Mother 3 one day, but yeah, we know, like don't know when that's going to happen, and probably never will, right? But you know, can always dream. But yeah, an Earthbound remake, there's definitely some issues that could be addressed to make, you know, quality of life improvements and things like that. And yeah, Earthbound would be just a great one to have a remake of. And speaking of expensive, this next one I just want remade so that it's on like current platforms and everyone can play it, because the only way you can really play this game is through emulation, and setting up Saturn and emulation is kind of pain too, right? And it's Panzer Dragoon Saga. Love this game, and this is, I believe, the only Panzer Dragoon game that's not like a on-rail shooter, right? This is kind of semi-turn-based combat, because you enter combat and like you're kind of moving around the plane a bit and things like that, and yeah, but you're kind of waiting for your turn to attack. Like, it's very interesting combat system, very fantastic game of, you know, like you're playing as Edge, where the Empire comes and attacks you, so, you know, led by this man named Kramen, and so you're on this mission to track him down with your new dragon, right? And really cool game. But yeah, it needs a remake, it needs to be on modern platforms. Plus, don't think it can be remastered anyways, because believe Sega doesn't have the source code. But man, this would be a fantastic game to be remade, have more people try out and play it, because it's not a long RPG, it's only like 15-20 hours long, right? But it is a fantastic one that wish everyone could play, and like I said, the only way you really can right now is emulation, right? And yeah, if you're like me too, like emulation, it can be, for certain systems, a pain to set up, and yeah, setting up like the Sega Saturn emulation, it like took a long time for me to even set up, right? And there's still issues I have with it with some audio and all that, but yeah, that'd just be a fantastic game to be remade and be brought on modern platforms. So this next one I have is a Japanese only title, and I wanted a remake of this, you know, ever since we got Live Alive remake, right? And it's Bahamut Lagoon. Fantastic kind of tactic style turn-based combat rates, really cool. And yeah, a remake would just be really awesome, that HD 2D style for this, because yeah, it's a really cool game. Could use a few more kind of tutorial stuff, like usually I don't say that because I hate tutorials, but yeah, like remember playing the beginning of this game before and getting a bit confused of, okay, how do you exactly move and do things, right? Like there's some things they tell you, but not a whole lot. Like after a while, like it's easy to get used to, but yeah, it's takes a little bit. But yeah, Bahamut Lagoon, just such a cool game, and one that yeah, I wish would get remade hopefully one day, right? We'll see. So yeah, this is definitely one that would be really awesome to see on modern consoles. And so for the next one, I had to pick a Final Fantasy, and this one was a bit tough for me to kind of pick and choose, because, you know, I didn't pick 9 because it's obvious we're getting a 9 remake anyways. Might be announced at the Game Awards tomorrow, we'll see. But yeah, I kind of tried to pick and choose and thought and wanted to pick one that I think is a really great game but does have issues, and that's Final Fantasy VIII. I think this would be a fantastic one to remake, because problem with this one is, while it has fun combat and, you know, one of the most addictive mini games until Queen's Blood of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out, right, with the card triad mini game, but yeah, it was fun collecting GS. But the thing is, like, unfortunately it uses enemy level scaling, so you know, the more you level up, enemies level up, but they level up past you, get way too strong right now. Does use the junction system, which you can take advantage of, but again, that's where the balance issues kind of come in, where, you know, like the junction system you can break that too, right? And the whole draw magic thing wasn't like the greatest. Like, it was an interesting idea, but you know, wasn't the greatest, and a remake could either just switch back to just using magic points, or kind of revamping the draw system to be a bit less tedious, I guess. And because Final Fantasy VIII, I think, is a really cool game, really great one. It's, you know, a lot of great characters, amazing music, great story, right? It's bogged down by those kind of level enemy scaling, right? And yeah, a remake, I think Final Fantasy VIII is one that needs it more than, I think, pretty much all the other Final Fantasies out there. And the next one I have is another one that deals with enemy level scaling, which is why I put it on here, and it's The Last Remnant. So what you're seeing is the PS4 remastered version, because this 360 version is borderline unplayable. But yeah, really cool game and great story, characters again, but it's bogged down by, like I said, the level scaling, where it's worse than Final Fantasy VIII, I found, because with this one, like, it can really screw you over. Like, you would have to start the whole game over again if you level up too much, right? Plus, the battle system, while interesting, wasn't the greatest, right? Because it uses this kind of turn-based grand battle system where you have many different characters fighting at once, right? And you're controlling squads, but you don't really get to fully control them. When it's your turn, you get certain attacks you can do, but you don't really get to choose a whole lot, and it has this flanking system and everything. It's a bit confusing, and so remake of this game could be really, really cool because it's a great game. It's a really underrated game, but yeah, it's just bogged down by, you know, cumbersome battle system with, again, level scaling. So yeah, Last Remnant I would love to see a remake of, or a sequel. And so this next one may surprise you, not because I'm putting it in the remake category, but because it's my personal favorite PlayStation 1 game, and yeah, it may surprise you because of how many amazing games there are on this system, but there's so much memories I have with this one, and it's J-Cocoon. Now, as much as I loved this one, and it was well ahead of its time, it had pretty much full voice acting throughout the whole game, which was super rare for any JRPG. Even ones that did have voice acting during this time for JRPGs, it was usually through like anime cutscenes, right? But this one had it all the way through. You could load your game with, in the game, which again seems so minor these days, but it was pretty big back then, and it had Studio Ghibli people work on this game too. But, as much as I love this and love this Pokemon style type of game, I think a remake would do it justice. There's also the second game, but I picked this one because, again, one of my personal favorites, but the problem is controls. It uses tank controls, or like I always say, Silent Hill controls, where up and down moves you, forward and backwards, left and right turns your character, right? And so it's a bit awkward. Environments, there's not a whole lot to explore, like you have your village, but you're just kind of picking and choosing where you want to go. You're not actually exploring your village, and these forests you go in, it's very linear, very narrow paths, right? So if you're trying to avoid certain enemies, it's kind of hard to do. Now, the game does have a lot of different kind of checkpoint systems in a way where, you can always use like your hunter earrings to return to the entrance and things like that. Like I said, there were a lot of things that were well ahead of its time for a game like this. But yeah, a remake would be really cool. Plus, I want more people to check this out. I love this game so much. Not a super long RPG, but a remake would I would love a remake of this. Up next, we have another personal favorite of mine, and yeah, one of my favorite games on the PlayStation 2, and my favorite game in the series, but it does need a remake, and considering we got Star Ocean 1 and 2 remakes, I would think this one might get one too, and it's Star Ocean Till the End of Time. Love this game so much, it's so fun, but yeah, a remake would do it justice. It has a incredibly slow start, like it takes about an hour or more before you really even get going, and even then, like, it's still pretty slow. And combat wise, it's fun combat, but it's, again, could be improved by quite a bit. It's a really cool game. I love the Star Ocean games, and like I said, considering we got 1 and 2, I would like to think we're getting till the end of time at some point, especially because while this game's available on PS4, because there were issues on PS5, if you didn't buy it back then, I believe this game is delisted from the PlayStation Store on PS5, so, that's very unfortunate, right? Which I know I played this on PS5 and I didn't really find issues that I ran into personally, but I haven't played too much of this on PS5 anyways. But yeah, it's just really cool game, and would love more people to check it out, and a remake would fix a lot of those issues and allow people to really dive into this game for the first time, right? And now back on PS1, another one of my favorites, and whether it's a remake or sequel, just give us more of Legend of Dragoon, please. I mean, it's such a fantastic game. Everything about this, like, being these Dragoons, and it's just, there's so much to love about this, but needs a remake, or again, at least a sequel, because for this game, you know, combat-wise it's fun, but this game has a lot of translation errors. Now, there's some that make me laugh to death, like one of my favorite lines in any video games ever is "shut up, talking makes you die." Like, it's just, you know, obviously, and it was a very dramatic scene too, but yeah, that line always gets me, and yeah, it's just really cool game. And back when games were really influenced by Final Fantasy VII, you know, there were some that were trying to copy a little too much, and then others like Legend of Dragoon that were influenced by it but made it their own completely. And yeah, this game deserves more love, and please give us a remake or sequel to this game. Next, we have one of my favorite GameCube games ever, originally released on the Dreamcast, and this game, give us a remake, remaster, sequel, anything, just more. Skies of Arcadia. Like, I love this game so much, and you know, how many Sky Pirate RPGs are there, right? It's just really cool, and yeah, fun combat, fun kind of ship battles too, and yeah, just, you know, and the GameCube version has some extra content now. Depending on who you are, like, yeah, you'll either prefer the Dreamcast or GameCube version because they all have their pros and cons, right? Like, Dreamcast has better sound and music because whatever sound card they used was compatible with the GameCube, right? But the GameCube version has, you know, extra content, lower encounter rates, things like that, but regardless, just give us more Skies of Arcadia. It's everyone who's played this loves this. We need more of this, so please, Sega or whoever, just give us more. And the last one, which, yeah, speaking of games that don't have a sequels or anything like that, it's one of my favorites ever. I talked about this game multiple times before. Radiata Stories. Love this game so much, and while the beginning you think you're just in for a silly comedy type of JRPG, later on the story really picks up and becomes quite serious. You have two different endings, both have their own kind of consequences, right? So it's well worth playing through twice for both those endings, plus it has so much replay value because it has like Tales of Combat with Suikoden type of party system where you have many different people you can recruit to your party, and depending on which side you go on to get one of the two endings and all that, it'll lock you in and out of certain characters you can recruit. And because this is made by the Star Ocean team, there's a lot of cool Star Ocean Easter eggs in this game. So yeah, it's just a fantastic game. Love it so much. I think also this was Bryce Papenbrook's first ever video game he voiced in. I can't quite remember, but yeah, kind of cool there, right? And yeah, just give us more Radiata Stories. I love this game so much. And so those are my 10 JRPGs that deserve remakes. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you agree or disagree with any of my picks? Which JRPGs do you personally think deserve a remake yourself? Let me know. I would love to hear all your thoughts. And yeah, also, like I said, kindly yell at me which ones I clearly missed, as yeah, there's still so many RPGs I have to play through. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Always appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to see more. Hit the notification bell to be notified of any upcoming videos. Also, follow me on Twitter at TotalLevelYT, along with Twitch, also at TotalLevelYT. Or maybe you only stayed for any skits I put in my video. In that case, please stay anyways. I'm so lonely. Alright, take care and have a great rest of your day, everyone.